Still need a minute, Steve? Well, here, I can stall for time. Show everyone out there a little magic trick. Here we go. I got a toonie, and I got a quarter. I'm going to put them both in my hand. Close my hand. I say Alakazam, and behold, the quarter is now a toonie. The toonie is now a quarter. Thank you! That's our candy! Hold on a minute here, guys. How come I have to clean all this up? I mean, you threw the candy. It's your fault. Your mess. You clean it up. That sounds fair.
You made the bad joke. It's your fault.
Yeah, but it's not my fault you get bad humor. You know what? Forget it. I'll just do it. Very happy holidays to you all, and welcome to this month's edition of the Game Show Canada. And with the holidays approaching, it's really got me thinking. I see people scrambling, trying to get the last-minute gifts, mailing their cards and packages, and dreading the postal fees that are coming along with it this year. Hooey. Or even just trying to get a hold of a turkey for a holiday meal. It can be a real nut house. And it got me reminiscing about Supermarket Sweep. Supermarket Sweep, as you know, was a huge hit in the United States and in many other countries. Here in Canada, though, it didn't really fare that well. And yes, I have reviewed it once before on the website, but I only did the English-speaking version. And even though it wasn't great, it still brings back a lot of memories since I really enjoyed it as a kid. In fact, I remember in the second grade, instead of playing tag or recess with the other kids, my friends and I, we would be reenacting Supermarket Sweep from the night before, and I'd play the host. So what can I tell you, everybody? I've been a game show nerd ever since I was a little kid. And I have the bruises to prove it. Oh, sorry, right. No more bad humor. Put the candy down, everybody. So, join me, won't you, this month as we do a revisit of the English-speaking version of Supermarket Sweep. And we also look at the Quebecois version, l'épicerie en folie.
Have you ever dreamt of running to a supermarket, grabbing everything you want, and filling your basket to overflow? Live that dream by playing along with today's contestants on Canada's hottest new game show, Supermarket Sweep. Proudly come with your favorite type of thing on high and test your shopping skills with our eager contestants as they come up with cash and other fabulous prizes on the one and only Supermarket Sweep. Are you ready to go shopping? Who's got the old El Paso Taco Kit? Okay, you're on. Who's got the Delta Lights? Okay, you're on. And who's got the chocolate Oreo cookie ice cream? Okay, you're on. Now, here's our host and Games Master extraordinaire,
Hi there, welcome to Supermarket Sweep. We have some fabulous prizes on our show, and one of these teams could be going home with up to $5,000 in cash and prizes. Gotta love it.
The English-speaking version of Supermarket Sweep Canada aired on the global networks and in syndication from 1992 to 1995. It was hosted by journalist and award-winning broadcaster Tino Monte. Tino's performance here was disappointing given his resume. Early on, he was very stiff, seemed nervous, and looked lost. He would loosen up over time, but it's like he was trying to make up for what he did before by going to the other extreme of being too over the top. Now he would just come across as fake, and often condescending to the contestants. My biggest gripe with his performance? You could tell he was relying on the teleprompter. The game is pretty much the same show we've all seen all over the world, But what really hurts it here in the Great White North is just too scaled down. The store looks small, more like a discount department store rather than a supermarket. Oh, and dare I mention the shameless product placement for Nabob Coffee. It's mentioned in the intro. There's a display behind Tino, and there will be at least one question every day about Nabob Coffee. You can guarantee that. And they'll even mention it again in the outro. 3 teams of 2 play. Each team starts off with a minute of sweep time, although in every other country they get a minute and 30, but whatever. I guess the exchange rate applies to time as well. The game always starts with a mini sweep. The first player to buzz in and identify a product from the clues given to them by Tino earns 10 seconds for their team and a chance for their partner to find said product in the market. If they can do so and bring it back to Tino in 20 seconds, the team gets a $50 bonus, which will be added to their sweep total. More on that later. Following this, one member of each team will then play 2 mini-games. Unlike the US version that had a never-ending variety of different games, here they kept it down to just pretty much straight questions. Sometimes word games involving the names of products or brand names, helpful hints, and proverbs that include the name of a product that you would find in the market. Every correct answer adding 10 seconds of time. The second half is played in the same fashion, even beginning with a second mini sweep. And just that the process reverses with partners swapping duties. The game always finishes with the round robin game, consisting of 6 sets of clues to the identity of products or brand names in the market. Sometimes the contestants see a scrambled answer, sometimes not. And after this, the game goes into the big sweep. For the big sweep, it's literally grab as many groceries as you can before the clock runs out and rack up a highest bill as you can. There's also some bonuses that teams can use to add to their total. Now, in the US, there was a massive variety of these as well. Whether you've got the coffee machine, piling up $1 worth of candy, International Bread Center, those big oversized products, $300 movie would be another one. It was just a never-ending list. In Canada, though, we only had 3 such bonuses, and even then, only 2 were played. Max of 2 were played in each sweep. The first one, the supermarket sweep shopping list. At the beginning of the sweep, Tino wouldn't read off a list of 3 products. If the team could get all 3 products into their cart before the clock ran out, they won a $250 bonus. The second was the manager special. Up at the front of the store was a bargain bin with various products. One product, announced by Tino during the sweep, is the day's manager special. And if the team can grab this particular item out of said bin, then they win a $200 bonus towards their total. The third, serving as the replacement for the oversized items on the US version, consisted of 3 inflatable cheese wheels, one worth a $50 bonus, one worth a $75 bonus, and one worth a $100 bonus. And each team could grab only one of each of these. So as you can see, the biggest problem with supermarket sweep in Canada, there was just no variety. And it's really sad. Maybe if they had lasted longer, the producers would have been willing to try more things, but we'll never know. For the bonus round, it's the same super sweep from the US version. The winning team tries to identify 3 more products from clues. Tino reads the clues to the first item. Once they find that item, they'll then see the clue for the second item. And when they find that, they'll see the clue for the third item. If the team finds all 3 items in 60 seconds or less, then they win. What did they win? The the right to choose one of 16 scrolls and the prize that's contained in that scroll, ranging in value from $500 to the grand prize of $5,000 in cash. So even if you do win the sweep, which often has some pretty tough clues, you only have a 1 in 16 chance of winning the grand prize. So winning the $5,000, very difficult. And I only recall it ever being won once over the 3 years that the show existed. And, and what if the team loses? What's their consolation prize? A coffee maker and a year's supply of Nabob coffee. Once again, another plug for Nabob coffee.
Participants et participantes, qui parmi vous en met les céréales, fruits et fibres? Est-ce que quelqu'un a apporté des toasts de melba régulière de Grisol? Et passez à l'action si vous avez le jus de pamplemousse Ruby Tropicana. Avec lui, les grosses factures d'épicerie sont très faciles à digérer. Voici Christian Perrault.
Oui, ben hey. Merci, bonsoir. Bienvenue à l'épicerie en folie métro, une émission qui se mêle de ses oignons. Est-ce que vous êtes sains de corps et d'esprit, mesdames, messieurs? Oh.
The Épicerie en Folie, or Market Madness, was the Quebecois version of Supermarket Sweep, which ran from 1994 until the summer of 1995, lasting a little over a year, and aired on TQS, or Télévision 4 Saisons. It was hosted by actor and writer Christian Tétrault. And right away, we see two things that this version did better than its English-speaking counterpart. First off, Christian is a much better host than Tino Monte. He seems much more natural with the contestants and has a great enthusiasm for the game without looking fake and robotic. The other big difference, although yes, there is product placement in this show as well, as the show's main sponsor is Metro, a popular Ontario and Quebec-based grocery store chain. At least here it's done in a more subtle way, and it makes a lot more sense for a grocery store to sponsor this type of a show rather than a coffee company. The main game was kept pretty much the same. Each team got a minute and 30 to start, like the rest of the world, and played a series of mini-games to add sweep time. I've noticed one big difference here that I haven't seen in any other foreign version I've seen so far, and that is the partners get to stay on stage. Well, they're not playing the games, and they are permitted to confer with their teammates, although only the player standing in front can buzz in and offer answers. And I'm fine with this. Given the fact that the sweep is run by a single member of the team, the main game consists of a lot of one-player games. This just makes it feel more like a team game. Also, they put a little more variety into the questions, such as throwing in questions about the prices of products. Now, they still can't hold a candle to the US version in terms of variety, but at least they tried some things. In the Big Sweep, 2 bonuses were offered. The shopping list, or the star products as they called it, and finding all 3 of them, which were announced before the sweep, would add a bonus of $300 to the team's total. Also in the back of the market was a wall containing a number of scrolls. Each team could grab 1 for a bonus of either $50 or $100. Wait, that wall looks a little familiar, doesn't it? The winners play the same bonus game as we've seen in the English-speaking counterpart, but here if they find all 3 products in 60 seconds or less, it's a flat payout of $2,000. There's no stupid bonus board to go through, and although it's a smaller prize, $2,000 is still a reasonable price by Canadian game show standards at the time. And frankly, I'd rather see a budget cut if it means the big prize can actually be won. So comparing the two, I've got to give it to the Peasley and Foley. I mean, sure, it feels a little more scaled down, and it is a lighter budget, but it's just more lighthearted. They tried to put some variety into it, and best of all, the host is a lot better. So, and I doubt we're ever going to see a revival, given that the last version in the US only fared 2 years. I can't see it happening in Canada ever again, at least not anytime soon. And that's really unfortunate because, as we've seen in the past, there's a lot of potential with this game. So anyway, I got to get to work and clean up this mess. For all of you out there, nothing but the best in 2023. Have a happy holidays, and I will see you next year with the Games of Canada. I'm your Big Chip Draw.